Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ISOG 2022. I'm James Jimenez, and I am the spokesperson of the Philippines Commission on Elections. I'm here to talk to you today about securing the automated election system. As you know, we will be having elections on May 9, 2022, using an automated election system that we rolled out initially in 2010. Since then, there have been several elections, all of which have been very successful, and we would like to show you how we were able to keep the automated election system integrity intact. There are four elements. The election system rests on four major pillars: the source code reviews, the system encryption that we employ, the overall design of the canvassing system, as well as the transparency server operations. Let's take them one by one. As far as the source code is concerned, there are in fact two source code reviews. You know that the source code is the written instructions of the automated election system, and by opening it up to review, we are able to reveal to the public exactly how the system works. We are also enjoying the added benefit of finding out that there are no hidden or malicious codes in our system. So again, as I said earlier, there are two source code reviews. The first is the international certification by an international certification entity. This is carried out in this year. This is carried out in the United States. Then we do have the local source code review. The local source code review allows local interested parties to take a crack at reviewing the source code of the AES. Again, this ensures that the AES is free from malicious code, and it allows interested parties to verify the integrity of the automated election system. The second pillar of security for our automated election system is encryption. You can see from the diagram here that in the first instance, the data packet which is released from the vote counting machine is encrypted before it even leaves the counting machine. It proceeds along an encrypted transmission channel. In 2019, the COMELEC arranged for a simulated man-in-the-middle attack. The local source code reviewers concluded then that if ever the data were to be subjected to such an attack, the data packet would not be compromised. And finally, the data packet is received by the consolidated canvassing system, which validates the transmission of the package that it comes from an authorized source. Incidentally, the encryption method used for the automated election system is AES 256, which has been described as being virtually unbreakable by brute force. Another quote about the AES 256 says that there has yet to be a single instance of AES 256 ever being hacked into, but that hasn't been for lack of trying. The third pillar of AES security, or automated election system security, is the system design. As you can see from the diagram, the VCM transmits precinct results to three different locations simultaneously. First, to the municipal canvassing station, second, to the central server, and third, to the transparency server. All of these transmissions are in near real time and almost simultaneous. At the same time, the machine itself prints out a paper receipt. This allows observers who are at the polling place on election day to actually review the data coming from the VCM to make sure that it is accurate. Once the data has been received by the municipal canvass, the results from various precincts are then canvassed, and the results are transmitted back to the central server, creating a repository of trusted data. The data then passes up from the municipal canvass to the provincial canvassing station, and all the way up to the national canvassing station, where the final results for the positions of senator and party list representative are finally proclaimed. The transparency server, on the other hand, if you remember, that was one of the first three recipients of the data from the vote counting machine. The transparency server in turn feeds to the news outlets that are hooked up to our transparency server. This allows the media to keep pace with the canvas, allowing them essentially to run their own unofficial tallies. The central server, on the other hand, becomes the central repository of all data, making the data easily accessible to whoever wants to check it under the proper circumstances, of course. The thing about this is that with three recipients of the data at the first instance, what you have is immediate redundancy. The information that is contained in one set of data, for example, sent to the municipal canvas, should check out against the data sent to the central server, just as that data should check out compared to the data received by the transparency server. If anyone tries to hack any of these results, they could not do so for all three recipients, making the system immediately tamper evident. And finally, the central server itself sends a copy of the data to a public website. This makes sure that the public is also able to keep track of the progress of the counting, essentially democratizing the counting process. And this is the third pillar that we believe makes our system very trustworthy, the system design. And finally, the fourth pillar of AES security is the transparency server. The transparency server, as I said earlier, allows the media to keep pace with the canvassing by streaming precinct results in near real time. This allows them to keep up their own count. Unofficial, true, but it's sourced from the COMELEC itself, making this data extremely trustworthy. The same data is posted on a public website to allow the public to similarly keep track of election results as they come in. This kind of transparency really democratizes the counting process and makes it available and accessible to everyone with a computer and an internet connection. All of these four pillars, the source code, the encryption, the system design, and the transparency server, and transparency in general, all collaborate to make the automated election system incredibly secure. It has been used since 2010. It was used again in 2013, 2016, and 2019. And despite hundreds of protests being filed, not a single one has successfully proven that the election results were inaccurate or otherwise fraudulent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the security of the automated election system of the Philippines. It is the system that we will be deploying for the 2022 national and local elections as Filipinos throughout the country troop to the polling places to vote safe. Pilipinas.